The presenting sponsor of Moon Tower Soccer is FVF Law.
To find out what makes FVF a different kind of injury law firm, you can visit fvf.law.
Hello friends, thanks for listening to Moon Tower Soccer. This is Landon Cottom here with a very special episode of Moon Tower Soccer, where I was able to interview New Austin FC head coach Nico Estevez. We were one of the two one-on-one interviews given. The boys over at We're Austin TV / Top Flight did one in Spanish. We're doing one in English. Those are the only long-form one-on-one interviews you're going to hear outside of that press conference, and so we're very honored to be one of the few to get to do it. Big thanks to Nico Estevez and the Austin FC comms department for being willing to give us that time. And I don't know if there's much else to say. Jeremiah was unable to join us due to some work obligations, so it's just me and Nico there in one of the box suites at Q2 Stadium. But I think you'll get a good idea of who he is as a person. We talked a bit about his career pre-FC Dallas, pre-U.S. national team. And I think a lot of folks don't really know that much about that part of his life. So I found that really interesting. But yeah, I think you're going to enjoy this. So let's just get right to it. Nico Estevez, thanks so much for taking the time to join me on Moon Tower Soccer. I appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here and ask anything that you would like to know about me.
All right. Yeah, I think most people listening will know about the last few years of your resume as an assistant with the U.S. men's team and then also the head coach of FC Dallas. But you started coaching at quite a young age in Spain and have a lot of experience through various levels of Spanish soccer. And just to give listeners an idea of what that experience was, you were the coach and then technical director at a local youth club called Club de Fútbol San Jose, 7 years as an academy coach at the famed La Liga club Valencia, 2 years as the head coach at lower level side Huracan Valencia, then the head coach for Valencia's second team, where you were also called to serve as the interim head coach for 2 games for Valencia's first team, including a game against Real Madrid. And you were just 33 years old at that point. That's a lot of experience for someone so young.
Yeah, and it's sometimes what we said with young players, how they break, like Lamine Yamal or other young players that break when they're very young, because the speed of soccer, you cannot control that. Sometimes it happens, and I had the opportunity that happened to me at the youngest age, and it was I think is, if not the youngest coach in Valencia history, one of the youngest coach in Valencia history to coach the first team. And it's something that is in my resume, something that I have great memories, and it's something that has built my hunger, to keep going and to keep getting better, to create good new memories.
Whenever people suggest that you are an inexperienced coach, do you feel a little bit disrespected because of that? I think I would, with the background that you had in Spain, but a lot of people don't know about that part. They just see your higher profile stuff here in the U.S. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, sometimes it's difficult for us as coaches that have been, like me, for a long time coaching and learning about the game, and to think that they said to us that we are inexperienced, but people sometimes doesn't have the knowledge and doesn't look at what you did. Maybe they just look what you did very recently. But I think all the experiences on head coaching, but also on the assistant coach sides, are very, very valuable. I think I gather a lot of good information, good experiences, good knowledge from a lot of people that I've been working with. And for me, it's like, experience is an interesting word, because Lionel Scaloni didn't have any experience as a head coach when he took the Argentina national team. And they also said about him that he wasn't experienced enough to coach it. And then he proved that it's not about the experience, it's about to to make the right decisions, to have the right players, and to have the right momentum and mentality to build something unique. And examples like him, there is a lot. And then for me, I take that as someone that doesn't really know or hasn't have the interest to learn about it. And then after, what I know is doesn't matter what experience you have, if you don't do well and create a team that plays well and win, it doesn't matter. If you do it, you will be fine. Like Wilfred Nancy, he also is a coach that I follow a lot. I have a great relation, and he didn't have much experience in the pro level, and he did well in Montreal, and he's doing very well in Columbus. And then I think sometimes people is confused about what experience means.
Right. Yeah, and I think in that same vein, one of the more impressive things that you've done were those two games in charge of the first team in Valencia. Are there actually things that you learned in those two games, that short period of time, that you still draw from, or do you find yourself thinking about more of your time in the other levels?
Yeah, for sure. You learn every single day. It's like I said to the players, it is not about to do well one day or not. It's about coming to the training, coming to the game, like thinking, what can I improve? What can I do better today? And those experiences are massive because there is a lot of stress. It's a big fan base, 50,000 people in the stadium, in a difficult moment for the club that it was. I think what I learned is how controlling emotions and bringing everyone together, it changed dynamics, and it changed the way that the team can go.
You also spend a lot of time working with younger players. Rodolfo Borrell mentioned that your experience coaching younger players is one of the qualities that he really liked about you. I'm sure you have coached several young players that went on to become household names in Spanish football. Can you name some of those? Who are some of the ones that people would recognize?
Yeah, I mean, I've coached a number of players in the youth that have become pro. For example, Jose Luis Gallá is the captain of Valencia CF, and then he plays in the national team when he's not injured. I also coach Carlos Soler, that he played in Valencia, PSG, and now he's at West Ham United. I also coach Jaume Domènech, right now is the backup goalkeeper for Valencia. And have a more number of players that Lato, that he's in Mallorca right now. I've coached some players also here in Columbus, that academy, that are now in the first team, like Sean Zawaski, Eden Morris, not as a direct head coach, but more as a director of methodology and academy in Columbus. And there is more. I've coached maybe not in the youth, but in pro, like Dani Parejo, Ever Banega, Sergio Canales. And I think is all part of the process. Pedro Chirivella, that he went to Liverpool and now is the captain of Nantes in Ligue 1 in France. Also young players that came to the national team. Young players like Bernard Camungo, there is a bunch of players and others that I forgot that I've coached, and they are in first division right now or in second division in a pro level. But I feel good. Juan Bernat also, that now is in Villarreal.
Yeah.
And he went to Bayern Munich and then PSG. There is a bunch of those.
Yeah, I started watching soccer in 2009, 2010, and I was like, I bet I know some of the players on that Valencia first team. And I checked that roster and I was like, oh yeah, I know all these guys. Rodolfo Borrell also comes from a background in Spanish youth soccer. Did you have any relationship with him in Spain at all, or did you meet him when you were here?
It's funny because usually this world is it's big, but it's small, and we know each other. And I mean, I knew who he was and where he worked, and he did the same on my side. We had some people that I have relation that he knows also. But we never cross pathways. The first time that I talked with him, it was when we played against Austin. And then after the game, I say hello to Josh, I say hello to him, and that's it. The first time that I talked with him is when he called me to ask me to interview. And it was like, surprise. I didn't expect that, but it was great that he called me.
He's kind of a big character. What has your impression of him been so far?
Yeah, I think to be honest, I think he's coming. We both are coming from a pathway that is really hard to get where we are right now, and he more like he has been in bigger clubs that I've been, but we are people that hasn't been like a professional player. We have been coaching from the very, very young ages to up to the professional level. Have moved and have been, some of kind of first guys to move to a different countries, and take the risk.
Yeah.
Take the unknown. And being brave to do things, and you build that when you work in big clubs, and you build that character, because you know how much it costs to you to get where you are, and I think it's that personality. It makes him also excel on the things that he does,
So there are different schools of thought or ways of thinking in regard to how much effect a head coach actually has on the quality of a team. And Pep Guardiola, for example, is often quick to say that the players are the most important thing. I'm here to help them, but the players are the most important thing. In your eyes, how much does a coach truly matter when it comes to the results on the field?
I mean, I think I'm agree. I think the players are the most important thing, and then we as coaches need to help to make that team function together. And this is our job. Our job is that make them shine, And if we can help them to shine, we'll be better coaches, because we'll get better results. I think the coach has an important part of being honest with the players. Creating relations that help the team to perform, make difficult decisions for the good of the team, and be fair with the group. And I think if we are able to do that, after, what is important is create a game model and a style of play that fit the qualities of the players. If this fits with your style of play that you like as a coach, it will be better because it will be authentic. And I think the way that Austin FC, in this case Rodo, wants to build and what direction he wants to take on a style of play and the way they play, that you could see some kind of with Josh during this year. This is also why he probably hired me, and that he knows the way that I like to play and the things that we can do, and obviously we will depend on the players, and this is my task, find the best way to create a effective type of style of play, but also entertaining for the fans.
Yeah, and I know you've said that you need to see the players on the field to be able to analyze their strengths, and then you'll be able to say exactly how you want this team to play. But that aside, what are your constants? What is your coaching philosophy that you will apply regardless of who those players are and where you are?
Then what I've liked and what you have seen with my teams is I like to be aggressive on the press. I like to be organized but brave and aggressive on the pressing side, don't allowing the opponent to make too many passes when it's possible. Then you play against teams that are really good and you need to adapt sometimes and then also defend in a different ways. And when we have the ball, we have to see, do we have a speed? Then we can create a team that is more vertical. Do we have more inside players? Then we can have more combination type of play. Do we have both? Then we have to try to do both, right? And this is the areas that we have to explore first, and then work in the preseason. That is going to be key to see what kind of attacking style we can have.
What is your ideal goal on the field? And you can answer this as a coach, or I kind of want your idea as a fan. But I heard this explained recently as like the Dutch ideal goal is 30 passes and then you pass it in the net, or like the 2010 Pep Barca teams, or like the Brazilian ideal of a goal is one guy dribbling the whole team. What do you like to see? Like, what is your favorite goal to see?
Again, I think it goes to the players. If you analyze Pep, Barcelona's team, Bayern Munich time, and then City time, and how he adapted to the players that he had in Munich, he had Müller and Lewandowski. And it was a team that created a lot of crossing situations, a lot of second ball situations in the last third. And then he went to City and he had Silva, he had Agüero, he had more combination type of play in the last third. Then again, for me, the idea is what the players can bring to the team, and me finding the way that I can make them work. What I like the most is that the opponent has less time the ball, and then that is not around our box too much time. This is what I like as a coach. I feel more relaxed in the sideline when we control the opponent being far from our goal.
So you kind of talked about like how you saw the role of the head coach. How do you see the relationship between a head coach and a sporting director, I guess both in general and then also specifically here in Austin with Rodo?
I mean, I think it has to be a collaborative type of relationship. I think I know when it's gonna be my moment to know what decisions we have to make on the players to come here. That has to come here. I know there is areas that I will identify that maybe we need to improve, and I'll have to tell him. But it has to be a very collaborative and a lot of communication between each other, because I think it's key. As much we collaborate, as much we are united, as much we see things together, the better, because we'll make better decisions.
I've watched a lot of videos on, I guess, coaching philosophy both on the field and then also just the way that people need to approach coaching as a human. And a lot of the things they talk about is building relationships. How important is building relationships with your players, with your staff, with the fans, with everything? I
mean, for me, it's key. I'm a person that I'm very social, like not type of like want to go in a room and be the attention or whatever. It's more like have a good time. I like to see people having a good time. This is why I like to cook, I like to cook for others and then see how they gather together and how they enjoy. And this is a little bit my approach with the players. I care about them. I'm there for them for anything that they need. They need to know, and they know that I have to make tough decisions sometimes that maybe they're not going to be agree, but I'm going to do the best of the team. But I always want to know how they are doing, if they have any issue, and how I can help them.
I read a story about your relationship with Yunus Musa, bringing him to the U.S. national team, and that just kind of the connection with Valencia is one of the reasons why he's even with the U.S. team. Is that a one-off thing, or do you have a lot of players that you still keep in touch with or develop those relationships with?
Yeah, I mean, Yunus Musa, it is a teamwork. It wasn't me. I think Greg did an amazing job. It's something. He's an amazing person, and he did an amazing job with not only Yunus, with other players that joined the national team, that they are dual nationals. And one of the things is we let the players make the decision. It's like we are not invasive. We are not pushing them. We just show us to help them. And this is what I did with juniors. I know Valencia very well. I know how much pressure a young player have there. If you need anything, I can help you. And we start doing these individual meetings, not only with him, with all the U.S. national team players. And I did with him, and talking about, his position on the field, what he feels, what the coach is asking him to do, how I could help him. But with juniors, it was more about knowing the fans and knowing the media there. It puts a lot of pressure on the players, and that build that trust and that relationship between him and me.
All right. Well, Nico Estevez, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it, and good luck with the upcoming season.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. We really hope you enjoyed that interview with Nico Estevez. Big thanks to Nico and to Austin FC for making this possible. We will be back next Tuesday as our regularly scheduled show. Me and Jeremiah will be back. We'll probably do some reaction to both this interview and to the press conference, and then we'll talk about whatever Austin FC news happens between now and then. Until then, I'm Ryan Cottam. We'll catch you next time. When no one is around.
Thank for nothing, you never.
La gente. Oh my God.